Good morning, Merlin. I am so glad you decided to get back up and realize that it's a beautiful day. I know you were waiting for it to be warmer, and it is warmer today, my darling. Yes, it's 71. It's supposed to be 85 tomorrow, which you're going to love. I'm glad you're awake. Would you like a bug? I have bugs. See if we can get you to eat a bug. How about that? Shall we do that? How about a bug, buddy? Good job. Nothing like a tasty roach, huh? Nummies. Good boy. Yeah, they're pretty good, huh? Yeah, pretty darn good. Yep. I know, we got all these yummy gut-loaded ones. Just gotta find one. There you go. It has a little bit of, yeah, a little bit of oomph on it, huh? Okay, thank you. Let's see. You know how much I love you, Merlin. I love you so much that I make these bugs nice and covered and ready for you to eat. And you have no idea how much I hate bugs. So it's a labor of love. It is. Oh, so that one's trying to leave, Merlin. Yeah. Good boy, Merlin. Keep going blurry. All right. Here's one still soft-shelled. Would you like that one? Yeah. Chewy instead of crunchy. Pretty good though, yeah? Yeah, pretty delicious. Yeah. Trying to find ones with some meat on them for you. Yeah, good boy. I know. Do you ever wonder, Merlin, why dragons were invented to eat bugs? I do. I wonder that all the time. Especially since, you know, Uromastyx are vegetarians and hardly need any protein. So I wonder what was going on. What was the management thinking? I don't know. Maybe it's an endurance test for your people. Is that what it is? Maybe so. But I am glad to see that you're up and hungry, enjoying the fact that we are having, oh, Merlin, that we're having nicer weather. I'm sure that's why you decided, what the heck am I doing sleeping? I could be up enjoying this beautiful sunlight. I know. You're going to have to find those two that got away and eat them, buddy. Yeah, they are. Yes, I am so glad that Merlin has decided not to try to be back in formation and is awake and enjoying the life with the rest of us. For those of you who were not able to view the meeting that went on in Florida on the 10th and the 11th, Tipping Scales got some excellent video of some of the reptile keepers that were able to speak at the meeting, and I've asked him if I could use his footage, and he said yes. So shout out to Tipping Scales. Thank you for letting me do that. So I'm going to try to get it on here, and then I will preface it with you know, my thoughts about how the meeting went. I did watch it live. I have to tell you, it was pretty disappointing. And what are you doing, silly? They definitely didn't want to hear it, didn't want to talk about the Holy Thursday Massacre. went over and ignored it as much as they could. And then they also only gave the speakers 2 minutes to speak, which was totally inappropriate and completely a tactic. They had just given the fishery people 3 minutes the day before. So, and they had at least as many speakers, maybe more speakers than we did on our side. So, it was definitely designed to keep us from being able to say much, because they didn't want to hear it. They've taken a position. They know they screwed up. They also know that there's a likelihood that they're going to be sued over this. USARK was represented, so was USARK Florida. They were really rude to the USARK Florida person, which was Daniel Parker. Phil Goss was there from USARK. Just USARK, not USARK Florida. That was Daniel Parker. But it was very much, you know, they really just didn't want them to speak. I mean, it was so obvious. In fact, Rodney Barretto, who is the chairman, you know, the land developer that's the chairman of FWC, yeah, he even called Daniel out on it and said, hey, you're making it sound like, you know, we just went in there just planning on killing these animals. And he's like, yeah, that's not the way it happened. It was not a massacre. And Daniel, to his credit, said, I'm sorry, I beg to differ. I think it's 100% a massacre. And if somebody came into your house and wanted to send a spike through the head of your pets, I think you would consider it a massacre too. Here, buddy. Get it. Oh, we almost had it, Merlin. Almost, buddy. And so, yeah, it was, it was very interesting. However, there were some people that 100% got their point across, including one guy was a veterinarian and, you know, made it a point of saying there was literally nothing humane about how those snakes were euthanized. And that animal cruelty is going to be the secondary result of a lot of these. Okay, good job, Merlin. That was 14, so nice work. Of some of these laws they were trying to put forth. So, yeah, it was definitely something to see. But Tipping Scales went ahead and, you know, just put together just our speakers, because there's also some other stuff going on in Florida, which will probably be of no surprise to anyone that has some opposition. They're planning on having a turkey hunting event that has a lot of protest. And apparently, even after they were just roasted in the press in 2015 for allowing a black bear hunt, where they were killing the females and the bear cubs as well as the males. They took a lot of flack for that. Some really terrible photos went up and around the news. And yet, they're thinking of doing it again because they feel that there is too many bears. Population's out of control. Although, there were a couple of people there that spoke on it saying that, you know, there is a thing called, I'm sorry, I just lost the term. Basically meaning that if there's not enough to eat, then the females will not take a pregnancy to term. So, you know, just by not allowing people to feed them, and they're not supposed to be feeding them anyway. That's why they're showing up in houses and public areas. If they just don't feed them and they have to forage for what they get, the population will control itself, and you don't have to have any kind of bloody hunting. So anyway, there was a lot going on, but even just with our speakers, he didn't get all of them, but he got most of the important ones. It's about a 42-minute video. So as soon as I can figure out how to get that information over to this channel, I will put it up. I think it's important that all of you see exactly not only the total disregard of these people for the fact that they had reptile keepers that traveled from other states even to come to this meeting and speak. And rude, oh man, rude behavior to these people. And there were a couple of people that called them out on that too. So, but yeah, you know, between limiting the time frame that they had to speak and trying to say it was something it wasn't, and trying to disregard 90% of what was said. There was a man who, from FWC, apparently 2 people have stepped down. The vice chairman of the FWC is new, and so is the top person, site supervisor in charge, and they were both there. And so they both had very brief statements to put out, but anyway, a couple of potentially good things are happening after the fact, but boy, they're going out of their way not to take any accountability, and there was not even a single solitary apology. And good job, Merlin. I think we're going to cut you off there because I don't want you to sleep another day away, because you're full, buddy. You are. And so there are a couple of things, but yeah, not one apology was there to be had. They couldn't even start the meeting anywhere along the line with, you know, we understand that the tragedy that befell Mr. Coffey on April 6th was very complicated and multifaceted, and we're very sorry for any pain or suffering it caused him. And we're endeavoring to do better, and we are taking a good hard look at personnel training, especially in the areas of species identification and general oversight. You'll notice we have 2 new executives for the agency. So, you know, we're really sorry. We're looking into it. And, you know, if any of you would like to have a spot on our, you know, what we're going to form, which will be an agency, reptile industry council. If any of you'd be interested, we're going to start a sign-up sheet. Please put your name, phone number, address, or your name and phone number and email address in the county you represent, and we will definitely contact you. That's all it would have taken. Nope, nothing. Not a thing. No accountability for anything that happened. They won't speak about it. And I know that they realize that they're going to be hauled into court on this. And so they have to be careful what they say. But the one thing that Rodney Barreto did say is somebody was pointing it out that, hey, in fact, it might have been when Daniel was talking, that if you're going to do this, then they're just going to turn off the cameras and call off the meeting. And I was like, oh, really? So that's what this is about, your way or the highway, huh? So I don't know, guys. I'm not hopeful about a lot of this, but, you know, the reptile community is going to do what we always do. We're going to try to keep it front and center and never let them forget. And I think we're going to have to figure out how to handle our issues with any Fish and Wildlife Commission in any of our states in a different manner, because apparently they cannot be trusted. And so I think it's great that they're thinking about making some changes, or at least that's what they've said. But, you know, it's one thing to do it after the horse is out of the barn, right? So, but I don't think that tragedy should ever have befallen anybody. And in fact, that was another thing that Daniel talked about and Phil Goss also talked about was, you know, if you had allowed us due process when you implemented this new law so that everybody that had allowable species now had disallowable species, if you had given us 6 months instead of 90 days, April 6th never would have happened. So that was the only time Rodney Barreto just couldn't think of something to say. So I have no doubt that there may be some changes made. I don't think that they're going to be adequate. They still are trying to insist on doing a white list, which is not a good thing because, again, any animal that they forget to add on there is, you know, going to get to be determined to be a blacklist animal, and, you know, up to their discretion. So, yep, keep your eyes out, everybody. All right, everybody. We're glad you woke up, Merlin. All right, guys, have a good weekend, and I'll get that uploaded as soon as I can, and I hope everybody has a great rest of your day. Bye, guys.